So in what way have we revealed God that nations have indefinitely rejected him? And before you quickly blame Satan, no, let's leave Satan for a moment before we get there. Because the moment you bring...
Welcome to Encouragement TV. May the content you're about to consume be a huge blessing to you. Do well to subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you.
We have technological products. I'm not a tech person, forgive my ignorance, but I don't know when AI, as you know, an expression of technology, I don't know when it became mainstream, particularly within Africa, but I'm not sure it's been more than 10 years. I may be wrong. Are we together? Praise the name of the Lord. Now, make sure you don't say 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years before you knew it, but many developed nations had already been operating. Don't punish your late on this. That it arrived late in your nation does not mean it started when it arrived. We live in a world today where you are careful when you are speaking so that you don't say it arrived this year. And people look at you and say, arrived when? This year? Anyway, but my point is that, do you know how many people have accepted, say for an example, ChatGPT and all the AI variations? You know how it has received acceptance regardless race, age, education, what system was put in it, that anywhere you go around the world, almost everywhere, it has received acceptance. How old, with all due respect, is Facebook? How old is Instagram? How old is, what else again? YouTube. You see that now? And yet it's received such global recognition because of the extent of its compelling power. It's become so useful, it has defined what relevance is. These things did not participate in our civilization. They redefined our civilization. For an example, do you know that because a man's mobile phone gets missing, his business can close down because everything is there? Because a man's phone is missing, a company can lose billions because that phone, introducing that technology, has not only participated in civilization, it redefined it. What is wrong with the Christian faith? That it is still a matter of indefinite consideration. That nations have not finally agreed that the Christian faith should be at the epicenter of human activities. Is someone reasoning with me tonight? Yes. Parliaments have sat together to agree that certain technologies be received institutionally because they have looked at it empirically and they've seen that those technologies enhance human condition. And we claim the Christian faith is by far better than all of these provisions. So in what way have we revealed God that nations have indefinitely rejected him? And before you quickly blame Satan, no, let's leave Satan for a moment before we get there. Because the moment you bring the issue of Satan, sometimes you bring in sentiments that will not allow you grow. Is someone learning tonight? Particularly in Africa, with all due respect, we like to blame Satan over everything. Lack of intelligence, Satan. Laziness, Satan. Not understanding the laws of victory, Satan. And we have found such consolation in blaming Satan for everything. Don't get me wrong. Satan is a major contributor to impeding God's program, but it is not all him. I assure you, even if Satan is chained today and every demon, most people will not even be aware he's already chained because he was already defeated 2,000 years ago. Are we together? And that victory is yet to speak in our lives. Everything to be done to Satan for our victory has been done. And yet the blame has not stopped. The compelling Christian life. An imbalanced Christian life does not only limit and frustrate the believer, but it creates a narrative that makes a generation fight God and fight godliness. For an example, an imbalanced Christian life, that means a Christian life that does not capture wholeness, does not capture victory. An imbalanced Christian life as a case study. will not just eventually frustrate the practitioner of such lopsided faith, but it will frustrate the efforts that we're making to see that Jesus is received across the nations. For an example, having someone who is a prayer warrior and not productive, that level of imbalance alone can destroy our understanding of God and the faith. For an example, having a believer who is wealthy but carnally minded, not loving Jesus, are we together? Not on fire for God, it will misrepresent God. For an example, having a believer who prefers to blame demons for everything than to rise up and take responsibility and use the laws of the kingdom alongside the grace of God to build a glorious destiny. For an example, having a believer who believes in laws and principles but does not respect the presence of demonic spirits or spirits. You see the various shades of imbalance. When believers are imbalanced in their understanding of God and their understanding of the Christian faith, these dimensions of imbalance, for an example, will reveal God in a way that does not allow him to be received by minds that are intelligent and by nations that are civilized. Praise God. So on the one hand, you find people who say pray, study the Bible, love Jesus. On another hand, you find those who say forget about prayer, forget about Bible study, forget about all of this, use your mind, use your creativity. On the one hand, we find people who are saying, look, it is the devil to be blamed, let's deal with the devil. On another hand, you find people who are saying there's no devil anywhere, just use your brain and think. And do you know, I don't want to go ahead of myself, but one of the church right now is in a state of doctrinal confusion more than ever before. The state right now, the church, the average believer is even afraid to identify with anything that represents the pillars of the Christian faith, because there are all shades of intelligence for and against. It's a different thing if you hear a dull person talking about a subject matter, but when intelligence meets theology, at that point you will need God to help you. It's not something among an atheist and a Christian. This is some sort of civil war that is going on within the Christian faith. And you know, when conversations like this meet my creative mind, I'm no longer interested in who wins or who loses. I'm first interested in something that we have not dealt with that is now being revealed. Are we together? Everything that the Christian faith is anchored on right now is being questioned. First question from outside and question from inside. And let me be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. A part of me likes it. Do you know why? Because it will now lead us to know whether we have been lying pretentiously or we are standing on solid ground.
I hope you are truly blessed by that ministration. May your life never remain the same. Please do well to leave a comment and subscribe. God bless you.